So, hi, everyone. My name is Colin Daymore, and no slight to Mark or Miro, but I hear they saved the best presentation for last. And I am here with our very talented product managers, Ethan Laub and Momchil Blaskov. And we're here to talk about OfficeRnD Hybrid product updates, our latest releases, and roadmap items, which are really exciting, especially on the backs of the conversation that Mark and Miro just had regarding our liquid space integration. I really geek out on disruptive technologies like that. When Mark is talking about kind of being almost the Amazon marketplace of hybrid and flexible solutions for people and organizations that truly want to optimize flexibility in the workspace. And in that same fashion, before we really get into our product, I want to talk about what really drives hybrid work. And Mark said very well that in the general workflow of our day, we don't decide, oh, I want to go pick a desk or pick a room and then decide what to do. First and foremost, we have a list of what we need to do, and then we decide who we need to do it with and who we need to work with to get it accomplished. And so I wanted to share a recent Gallup poll, actually, that Ethan found. And I think there were 8,000 plus pollees on this survey, and the question was how hybrid workers actually spent their time in the office, and how they spent most of their time while they're in the office. And these are hybrid workers. And so when we talk about what we have to do first and then who we're doing it with, it's a perfect representation. 60%, by far the highest number, by 50%, had to do with meetings or collaborative work in the office with colleagues, and then meetings with their supervisor, and then meeting with customers or prospects. I skipped over using technology I don't have access to elsewhere, because I think that's kind of an anomaly. But and then training, but there's some type of sessions we've got to work with other people on, and so all of the drivers of our product have to do with the drivers of hybrid work. And so as we walk through our solutions, and I'm going to go through the agenda, think about it from the perspective that Mark shared with you of what we have to do first, and then who we have to do it with to get it accomplished. And there's a value proposition, a kind of a value triangle, where not only users, the hybrid workers, but the company that they work with have to find value in the workplace model for it to ultimately be effective. Otherwise, there's going to be an imbalance. And that value proposition is broken down between that triangle between enabling adoption with native technology to make it simple, because if there's friction, we won't do it, right? We get stalled in the path. And the ultimate objective is to collaborate and socialize so we can effectively get what we need to get done. And then the company also needs to benefit. And so optimizing space and human resources, not only for cost savings, but planning, budgeting, is critical as well. And so we're going to go through each of those three value propositions and talk about the specific features that relate to them, and how you as companies and you as employees can get the most out of hybrid work from a digital solution that enables it, which is really the promise of a digital solution, right? That it makes our life easier, not creates more friction, but makes it much easier, makes it much more effective. So through enable adoption, we're going to talk about native platforms, Microsoft Teams and Outlook, Google, and a roadmap item for each of these three value proposition triangles. and our Slack integration, which I actually mentioned earlier. And then collaboration and socialization. We're going to talk about inviting colleagues, creating sessions or meetings, our schedule optimizer, which is a roadmap item, and then finally optimizing space and human resources through policy creation and implementation, and then tracking and reporting. Analytics, of course, are critical. So from the standpoint of enabling adoption, any digital solution obviously has to be easy to use. And for us, it was critical that OfficeRnD Hybrid integrates with native tools, because increasing the tech stack also increases friction and reduces adoption. So that was really the most important thing. And most of the time when we start our workday, we're going to look at our calendar, what do I have to do? And then move to who am I doing it with? What resources, what human resources do I need to get it accomplished? So I'm going to turn adoption in our native integrations over to Ethan Laub to talk about more details.
Great,
Ethan?
thanks. Thanks very much, Colin. I was looking at a survey earlier today, and I was astounded, but I shouldn't have been, that large companies on average have, I think it was 173 business apps that their employees use on average, and small to mid-sized businesses have something like 75.
That's insane.
So as Colin said, what do employees need? Not another app. Although we do have a beautiful iOS and Android native apps. We have a great web portal for employees to use. But what most of our customers want is something that will be easy for their employees to adopt by embedding it within the tools they already use. Microsoft Teams and Outlook are among the most popular. As you can see in this GIF, employees are able to stay within Microsoft Teams, book desks, see who's in the office among their colleagues, invite colleagues to join them in the office. And then it's going to switch over in just a second to Microsoft Outlook, where our add-in allows you to filter and see rooms based on the size of the room, occupancy or capacity, what amenities that room has, and then you can book it within Outlook. So those are very, very popular features within OfficeRnD. For those customers that use Google, we also have some great integrations there as well. Our Google Chrome extension allows you to stay within Chrome, and from any tab, you can open up the OfficeRnD app. Again, same things you can do with Teams. You can see your schedule, book rooms on the office map, and invite colleagues to join you in the office. Similarly to Outlook, we have the same type of calendar integration with Google Calendar.
I think this is my favorite integration, Ethan. So thank you to the product team for making this happen, because I've always got Chrome open with my 5 million tabs. And, it's that extension's right there. And when I've got something to do, I can very quickly book some collaborative sessions with people I need to with my team.
Beautiful. I feel the same way, Colin. Thanks. All right. If we move to the next slide, we're really excited to give you a sneak preview of a new integration that we are developing for Slack. This should be live very soon. It'll allow for all those Slack users to stay within the Slack interface. Their IT managers can install the OfficeRnD Slack app. And from within the app, the interface, you can search and book desks that meet your criteria, that are in the floor, neighborhood, and that have the amenities that you need. You can also see who's in the office among your colleagues for any given day. And you can do other things all within that interface without leaving Slack. So stay tuned, and we're very excited to launch that very soon.
Yeah, and just disclaimer, I'm sorry, Google, but I do have Slack open most often, and it is, I think, the foremost communicating tool for Teams, and not for Microsoft Teams, but for colleagues. And so it's how I send messages back and forth most often. And when something comes up, we need to accomplish something. Just like the three of us were discussing actually the Slack release earlier. And so, okay, I need to get that done. So let's book some time with Ethan and Momchil to collaborate on that directly from Slack. So I love that integration. Yeah, and next up, enabling collaboration and socialization is, of course, the end result of those native apps working within, or those native integrations working within our existing tech stack, with the objective of being able to get together with Ethan if I want to in the office, or somebody in the Atlanta area. We're in different cities, but we have a dozen or so people in Atlanta. And I've got different locations that I can meet with them in co-working spaces utilizing the OfficeRnD Hybrid solution as well, and soon to be the liquid space solution, which will be very, very easy. So Ethan is going to take us through the next couple of product features that will enable collaboration and socialization in the office. And right now, all studies show that the great resistance, where employees are saying, no, I know you have a mandated hybrid policy, but I'm not coming into the office. All the studies are showing, and even my own experience, that the reason employees are resisting is because they're not getting any more value in the office than they are at home. In other words, they're going to the office and it's a random situation if their teammates are there when they need them to be there to do what they need to do. And so our features that enable collaboration eliminate all of those issues. So when you go to the office, you're working with the people you want to work with to accomplish what you need to accomplish. So don't enable the great resistance, enable collaboration. And here's Ethan again to talk about those specific features.
Exactly, Colin. Nobody wants to go and commute for an hour to the office and spend the entire day on Zoom calls. And so this goes to the point that for organizations that want employees to go back to the office, you have to make it a good use of their time, worthwhile. With our software, OfficeRnD tries to enable employees to pick the best days, the right days to go into the office. Some of the things that you can do already within OfficeRnD apps is you can see who's going to be in the office among your teammates and your broader colleagues within any given day. You can see exactly where they're sitting. You can see, for example, there on the map, you can see a pin next to one of the colleagues. You tap that pin and it'll take you to the office map and see exactly where they're sitting, and you can book a desk right nearby. And then you can also invite colleagues who weren't yet planning to be in the office. You can send them an invitation to join you in the office. And so this is a great way to make that whole experience more worthwhile. Looking ahead, just a quick preview, we want to take this a step further. And so in the coming quarter, we're going to be working to expand our collaboration features to really help people optimize their office schedule. And you think about how you decide, when to visit the office in a given week. You're probably checking multiple sources. You're looking at your calendar to see what meetings you have coming up, and for which meetings one of your colleagues may be physically present, and it would be worthwhile to be there too. You may be checking email to see what kind of company events are going to be happening that next week, or which new hires will be onboarding. All that information right now is in disparate areas. And so what we're going to try to do is bring all that together so it's very simple, very easy for users to choose the optimal office schedule and to quickly book their time in the office with their colleagues a week or two ahead. So that's it on my end. I'll hand it back to you, Colin.
Yeah, thank you, Ethan. That type of calendar, schedule, session sync is very exciting and will allow OfficeRnD Hybrid to continue to, clear the path for people to be able to collaborate in office. And that could be for, as you mentioned, any type of session where two or more people are involved, whether it's onboarding, offboarding, it's training, it's new hire orientations, it's team member collaboration or brainstorming, regardless of what it is. Just kind of like the amenities that we can pick when we're going to the office. I need a whiteboard, or I need dual monitors in my desk. We can also pick the type of sessions we want and who we want to engage with in those sessions. So So very exciting. What's any ETA? Let's go back. ETA on the Slack integration.
Well, we expect Slack to be live within the next couple of weeks, and this new collaboration that we're talking about should be done by the end of Q4.
Exciting. Yeah, so schedule a demo with our product team or our customer success team if you're already a customer, and we'd love to show that to you. So I mentioned a value triangle, which you see here on the screen. It's really that the intersection between enabling hybrid work and collaboration, socialization. And the third part of that triangle is really the benefit for the business side, and that's optimizing space and human resources through not only policy implementation, creation and implementation, and we've got some advanced policies that Momchil is going to share with us, but also analyzing the analytics and the dashboards that help us decide. And Mark did a great job of showing this in liquid space as well. But actually, what is my office space utilization, and what should it be as we plan for the future, and not only our FTE headcount and projections, but our growth based on sales and where we're hiring people geographically. Do we need an office in London? Do we need one in Boston? And how many people can we put there? And can we integrate solutions like OfficeRnD to make that a reality and make it smooth? So I'm going to turn it over to Momchil Blaskov right now. And let him talk a little bit more about optimizing space and human resources.
Thanks a lot, Colin. At one point in time, I thought that you said that you also have open Microsoft Teams, but yeah, you stopped until Slack and Google, as we use them both. But yeah, Teams is the most used probably by our customers. Okay, so when it comes to the policy creation implementation, we spend a lot of efforts in making this as easy as possible when it comes to resources, so to desk and spaces. With the latest updates on the booking policies, you can now also choose different units of time. So, for example, you can limit your future bookings to days, weeks, or months, or set the check-in time by minutes or hours. This was quite limited in the past. They're also now here ordered in terms of their usage. So the ones which are most used are on top and are easy to reach. And really with all of these updates, we want to make sure that we provide complete flexibility to users when it comes to bookings, rules, and policies. So this was really a very, very important first step of the entire revamp in this area that we're doing. The next step, which was even more important, is the refreshed analytics. So with OfficeRnD, we really live and breathe data, and we want to provide also rich data and, more importantly, actionable insights to our customers. With the new hybrid workplace analytics, really our users can understand the usage of their desks and spaces. They can spot resources that are underutilized and optimize the real estate in order to cut costs. But also, more importantly, they can make sure that this space is set in a way that it makes it comfortable for employees, and guarantee that there are always available desks, meeting rooms, and that at the end of the day, returning to the office, employees won't end up with the fact that they cannot find a meeting room, for example. If they, at the end of the day, they might have a Zoom call, or they might just want to meet in face with all of their employees. So with all the latest updates, what our users can do, they can track past and future bookings, as well as office presence of individual employees and their entire teams. They can also narrow down all of the results by employees and teams. They can analyze the utilization per neighborhood. So, for example, if there is a sales, marketing, or another neighborhood, and they can see now all of the occurrences of recurring booking. So with the refreshed analytics, really it's a true game changer for our customers. We already received a lot of positive feedbacks. Feedback is really allows them to completely manage the entire office space.
Yeah, it's interesting that you mentioned, and there's a lot of talk around cost savings. And ultimately, when you're working efficiently and you're using our analytics to understand what office utilization actually looks like, it certainly can save companies money, but it could also effectively help companies plan, so they're going to be spending more money but saving money in the long run. So it helps companies decide, hey, where do I need to expand and how much do I need to expand by? So instead of a 10,000 square foot office space in the next 2 years in Sofia, Bulgaria, now I need, based on utilization, I only need 2,000 square feet. So I'm spending more money, I'm planning, I'm budgeting, but ultimately in the long run, it saves a significant amount of money understanding exactly what these office space utilization looks like, as well as resource utilization. What's the equipment that I need to provide each employee if they're going to be in the office only 30% of the time versus 50% of the time? And how many parking spaces do I need, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it's really a pretty long list of resources that need to be effectively budgeted and planned for, and utilizing the new analytics makes it a breeze. I couldn't imagine trying to do that manually. Every day you would literally have to count people coming into the office.
Yeah, it's close to impossible, or otherwise you might be shooting in the dark with just doing a random optimization, which is even worse, I guess. Yeah, advanced policies. The MVP will be out by end of September, something that we've been planning for a lot of time, and it really enables the human piece of what Colin mentioned about resources and human optimization. Really, the biggest problem of companies currently is to define their hybrid policy and to return employees back to the office. Obviously, as we're discussing, employees meet to work together on projects and different tasks in the office. At the same time, employers are looking to preserve the company culture. So how are companies approaching this? Most of them are asking employees to be in the office 2 or 3 days per week, without limiting the number of days they can work from the office. In the most of the time, people managers are responsible to track compliance, but in small companies also HR or operations might be involved. And some companies do not even track how this is followed, as it's additional burden because they don't have a specialized software to do so. They might have some spreadsheets, but it's super labor intensive, hard to be followed. So our goal is really to solve all these problems and to allow our customers to define and track workplace policies within OfficeRnD Hybrid. They'll be also able to easily track their workplace policies and improve them. And third main thing that we want to achieve is really to make it easy for employees to follow the policy, which is super important in the end of the day. Otherwise, the entire program might not be successful into returning to the office. So with the MVP that we're releasing in September, we'll be aiming to allow admins to define policies that requires to be in the office, for example, 2 days a week or 4 days a month, and as well as to set specific days which they be required to be office, might be Thursday or Tuesday or both of them. And yeah, the idea is here that also admins will be able to track the compliance to these policies, and employees will be notified about what's the policy and if they comply to it or not, with the ultimate goal to help employees to follow it in the easiest possible manner. Yeah, so that's very exciting thing that we'll be releasing, like as I mentioned, this MVP by end of September.
End of September, very exciting. So look for on social media and LinkedIn and on our website and in the app and the little bell at the top, you can click on that and get updates, get product updates. So the product team has been very hard at work trying to eliminate all the friction in helping employees get back to the office, return to the office, as well as helping new companies that haven't adopted yet a hybrid model create those policies and help employees adhere to them and then track the results so they can optimize their space and human resources. So the future of work looks extremely efficient, but also extremely productive. And so thank you, Ethan. Thank you, Momchil, for going over the critical features, I think, of our platform. It's just a small representation of the total features of our platform. So if you are a customer and you want to dive deeper, please get in touch with customer success. Or if you'd like to explore the platform, our account executives are brilliant at walking you through all the details of how we can help you start and optimize a hybrid work model. And if there are any questions, this is the time. So drop them in the chat there in the AirMeet platform. But while you're thinking about questions, I'm going to let, I'm not sure, Ethan or Momchil, if you're going to talk about our roadmap coming up and what's coming up in the near future beyond the 3 roadmap items we discussed.
Yeah, I'll take this one. So about collaboration, guys, you said a lot. So not much I just want to summarize it with one sentence. That's really, we spent, as Ethan mentioned, a lot of time into understanding why employees are going to the office and what information do they need to make this decision to go. And in Q4, we'll be really focusing on maximizing office visits and making them more productive for employees. So there is more in-person collaboration, as well as helping also team leads to gather their teams with this in the office. So a lot of interesting things coming out in this area. I'm really excited about all of them, but particularly about this one, I think it's there are still a lot of problems out there to be solved. When it comes to workplace policies, we're continuing with our existing work, and we'll explore options to make the analytics available and easily accessible for team leads, as they're ultimately responsible for the policy compliance. And we'll be also introducing workplace policies in the mobile app, so that we can help employees to comply with them no matter which platform that we offer they use. So this is also very, very important, and something that will spend a lot of effort in Q4. And last but not least, we'll continue our strive for perfection when it comes to employee and admin experience. We have planned numerous improvements in our web portal and the mobile app, both on our beautiful mobile app, beautiful office map and the home pages, as well as some new super helpful notifications to help you renew your recurring bookings and several more. We'll also be working on improving the in-product onboarding, which will allow customers to implement our solutions really in only a few days. So this is it in a nutshell.
Thank you, Ethan. Anything you'd like to add on the ongoing roadmap?
No, Momchil covered it beautifully. Maybe one thing that I would add on workplace policy is that we are planning to introduce a lot of valuable analytics to help customers really track compliance against their office policies. And I think that that'll help them to continuously optimize and refine those policies, because many of them are just introducing hybrid work for the first time and trying to figure out what works for their organization.
Yeah, and that's great. And it's, again, the roadmap, you can align it almost perfectly with that value triangle that I presented in the beginning, where and those analytics help the company, get the most from their hybrid work policies and their model now and in the future with our adaptable platform, and helps employees get the most out of a hybrid work model as well. And ultimately, both of them have to provide or get value out of the model and the solutions for it to be a win. And so we're excited to continue to be able to provide those solutions for companies and for employees. And let's see if I don't see any other questions. So that means Ethan and Momchil, you did a brilliant job of explaining everything. You covered everything. Nobody has any questions. And so I am going to say goodbye to you two and turn it back over to the live people in London. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.